John Cornyn does a classic Republican maneuver during Eric Holder's confirmation hearings. Now, Eric Holder is slated to be the Attorney General. He's going through these hearings to see if he can be confirmed by the Senate. And John Cornyn is big, bad John from Texas, and he tries to act like, he tries to talk Eric Holder into saying, yes, he'll do torture, right? And Holder's like, no, you're not getting it. I don't want to do the torture. Now, I love it because of the absurd hypothetical. Now, let's watch it. Afterwards, I'm going to break it down for you.
I want to just ask you a hypothetical. Earlier, you condemned the use of waterboarding, but you're familiar with the ticking time bomb scenario, and I just want to pose a hypothetical for you. Let's say, as Attorney General, you find out that there are terrorists who have access to chemical, biological, or nuclear weapons, and that you have a detainee who's in possession of information that, if disclosed, would prevent those weapons from being detonated in the United States and thousands, maybe tens of thousands of innocent people being killed. You would still refuse to condone aggressive interrogation techniques like waterboarding to get that information, which would, under my hypothetical, save perhaps tens of thousands of lives?
Well, I think there are a couple of ways in which I'd look at that. One, I would not assume that because I would say waterboarding should not be done, that that's the only tool, the only mechanism that we would have in our arsenal to try to get that information from that person as quickly as we could. I also think I'm not at all certain that waterboarding somebody, torturing somebody, whatever we want, whatever technique you want to use, is necessarily going to produce the results that we want. What I've heard from the experts is that people will say almost anything to avoid torture. They will give you whatever information they think you want to hear. And so I'm not at all certain that, given the time sensitivity that I assume we have in your hypothetical, that waterboarding that person would necessarily give us the result that we want. And I think we also have to understand that we have other things in our arsenal that we could use, other techniques that we could use that would, I think, perhaps produce the result that we want.
Well, of course, torture is illegal under international treaties and under our domestic laws. And I've heard people talk about torture in expansive ways, where things like sleep deprivation, other techniques that maybe you would employ as an alternative, are considered torture to them as well. But under my hypothetical, if that were the only thing standing between you and the death of tens of thousands of Americans, you would decline to use that interrogation technique in order to save those lives. Is that correct?
Well, again, I think your hypothetical assumes a premise.
You don't like my hypothetical?
No, the hypothetical is fine. The premise that underlies it I'm not willing to accept, and that is that waterboarding is the only way in which I could get that information from those people.
Assume it was.
Given the knowledge that I have about other techniques and what I've heard from retired admirals and generals and FBI agents, there are other ways in a timely fashion that you can get information out of people that is accurate and will produce usable intelligence. And so it's hard for me to accept or to answer your hypothetical without accepting your premise. I don't think I can do that.
All right, now, a couple of things here. One, it's so refreshing to hear Holder because he's smart. You know, you hear Gonzalez just evade the questions over and over for so long when he was up for Attorney General confirmation, and then when he was Attorney General, he'd come in front of the Congress. And so to hear an intelligent person answer the question, he's like, oh, thank God. It's like such a welcome relief. And then, second of all, the part that drives me crazy is why they never bring up al-Libi. Al-Libi is the guy we tortured in Egypt, and they gave us the wrong information. So Eric Holder should have answered, look, Ibn al-Sheikh al-Libi is a guy that, you know, we unfortunately did a lot of these things to. Maybe he can't admit that in open testimony. I don't know. And it didn't work. In fact, it gave us the wrong intelligence, and that's why we said that Iraq was connected to al-Qaeda, and that is not the kind of results we want. I wish he would say that. But overall, it's a great answer. But what I care most about is John Cornyn's question in the first place. Okay, now, I know, of course, torture is illegal by all definitions and by our own law, but come on, don't you want to do it? What if you really, really had to? What if it's the only way you could do it? So what kind of hypothetical is this? All right, then I could do this hypothetical. What if the only way you could get the information was by pulling his nails out? Okay, I don't really want to pull his nails out. Come on, it's the only way you can do it. But that hypothetical doesn't make any sense. Okay, what if the only way you can get the information is by cutting his ear off? All right, what if it's to electrocute him? I don't want to electrocute him. All right, either 10,000 Americans are going to die, or you're going to electrocute this guy in the testes. Which one is it? But I don't want to answer that hypothetical because that hypothetical is moronic. That's not how the real world works. Answer it! Do you do it to his testes? Do you do it? I mean, these Republican senators, they're really crazy.
What if the only way to do it were to increase welfare payments to families with dependent children? That's the only way. Would John Cornyn do it?
Would he do it? Would he do it? My guess is with Cornyn is like, oh, we got to give money to poor people? 10,000 Americans, huh? Where do they live? Who are they? What are they ethnically? Give me a little bit more information here. And the funny thing is, Dave, that hypothetical is a lot more realistic. You know, if 10,000 people don't get health care, for example, they might actually die, right? So, John Cornyn, do you want to give them health care access? He's like, oh, no. Oh, they're going to die. Okay, come on. Who cares? Okay. But torture, I want to do torture. That sounds fun. Come on. How much does John Cornyn want to waterboard somebody? God, what a clown. Big bad John. Oh, please.